आपके पापा क्या चाहते थे, क्या बने हमारा बेटा?
See, for me, my father always knew कि ये नौटंकी है ये.
So good. So before हम 12th fail की बात करें, आप clearly 12th pass again शक्ल से मिलते हैं.
बहुत ही मुश्किल
नंबर आए थे आपके?
I got 58%, sailed through. I mean, ठीक है. Hi, मैं हूँ विक्रांत मैसी और आप मुझे देख रहे हैं और बताओ पे with my favorite स्तुति.
हाय गाइस, मैं हूँ स्तुति. वेलकम टू और बताओ. और अभी हम जिनसे पूछने वाले हैं और बताओ क्या नई ताज़ी, वो यहाँ बैठे हैं. वन ऑफ द फाइनेस्ट एक्टर्स फ्रैंकली ऑफ आवर जनरेशन, विक्रांत मैसी. वेलकम टू और बताओ.
Hi Stuti, thank you for having me again and it is such a pleasure to chat with you and have you around. Thank you for joining us.
Always, okay. Guys, I want to tell you, तो हमारी मुलाकात हुई before the interview और बहुत कम ऐसे एक्टर्स होते हैं जिनके हाथ में किताब होती है. तो ये किताब लेके पढ़ के बहुत सीरियसली इनसे मैं टकराई. तो ये 12th फेल का असर है या you know, can I just say this that you look like a guy who would have tried for sin?
I honestly would have, and अगर मुझे पता होता तो, because and I've said this before on record, I've said this कि यार पता ही नहीं था जब तक कॉलेज गए तब तक ये सिविल सर्विसेज के बारे में, इन सारी चीज़ों के बारे में बहुत ज़्यादा नॉलेज थी नहीं. अगर
करवा रहे वो सब नहीं,
because I personally think a lot of it also depends कि आपके फैमिली में कौन सरकारी जॉब्स कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है. एंड आई थिंक बैक देन इन बॉम्बे मेरे सर्कल में आसपास nobody was a government servant. My father was, and मेरे जितने भी maternal side से थे, they were working in private jobs. And which later I realized कि बहुत सारे जो सरकारी सिविल सर्वेंट्स होते हैं उनके घरों में बहुत ये कल्चर होता है. And also depends where you come from. So वो नहीं पता था मुझे तभी.
तो आपके पापा क्या चाहते थे, क्या बने हमारा बेटा?
See, for me, my father always knew कि ये नौटंकी है ये. ठीक है, ये पूरा दिन नाचता रहता है, क्रिकेट खेलता रहता है, ये कुछ इन दोनों चीज़ों में से.
You're a trained dancer.
Trained dancer as well. But I was dancing even before I took formal training. I probably got the job at SDIP with Chambal because I was decent at it. And I was majorly into sport. But my father always wanted, he would think कि यार कोई आर्मी में जाए और कोई लॉ करे, because I have an older sibling. He wanted my older brother to join the Indian Army. And he's like एक बच्चा आर्मी में जाए, कोई वकील बने. नहीं, he's also in a private job like my father would. And here I am.
So good. So before हम 12th fail की बात करें, आप clearly 12th pass again शक्ल से मिलते हैं.
बहुत ही मुश्किल
नंबर आए थे आपके?
मेरे.
Really, you were not a good student. You look like.
I was, but by the time I was in college, फिर तो ना कि मतलब आपका ध्यान बढ़ जाता है. And I was also someone who had already started working by then. So a lot of my attention was totally at work. I got 58%, sailed through. I mean, ठीक है.
Not bad. आज one of the finest में गिनती हो रही है इनकी. तो चलो घर पे तो ये माहौल था कि वो मान गए कि नौटंकी है, ये करेगा. You are also one of the few who have made the successful transition from TV. You've done solid TV.
Yes.
And then, very lucky to get the roles that you have and haven't disappointed with your performance. You always knew, Vikrant, कि actor ही बना.
Always. Because when I was, as I said, when I was in school, by class 7th or 8th, ये clear हो चुका था कि इसकी रुचि उसी में. स्कूल के दौरान भी जो हमारे स्कूल के फेस्ट्स होते थे, या कल्चरल फेस्ट हो गया, या इंटर स्कूल हो गया, या जो भी एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर में सबसे आगे नहीं होता. इनफैक्ट माय टीचर्स वुड ब्रिंग मी आउट ऑफ द क्लास सेइंग कि चलो ठीक है, तुम वहाँ पे जाके डांस करो, बाकी पढ़ेंगे. एंड माय प्रिंसिपल आल्सो एट दैट वेरी फॉर्मेटिव टाइम, आई वाज इन क्लास 7th 8th, and they said कि नहीं, they even called my mother. They said Mrs. Massey, you should really sort of push him in this direction. He's really good. तो वो clarity तब से थी. Yeah, very very.
But the other question that I must ask is कि हमारे यहाँ होते हैं ना, actors होते हैं और stars होते हैं. अब आप certified, you're a very solid actor. You in your head were always clear. क्योंकि अब मैं जब याद करती हूँ, टीवी में भी आपने वो जो टिपिकल वो जो एक टीवी का तरीका है एक्टिंग करने का, वो नहीं किया. You were always
कोशिश हमेशा वही रही.
Very subtle, even when you were doing Indian TV, which is a little more melodramatic, a little more high pitched. So
always. Because
actor या star?
Actor, always. a lot of this influence comes from my mother. Because she would, and she's a Sikhni who speaks 6 languages. She would watch all Ray films in Bangla. And her favorite actors were also so-called parallel cinema actors.
So you were exposed to that
very early in my life. Very early in my life. And when I started making my own decisions, of course it was influenced from my mother. But then I also started liking those things. Also, it is I kind of felt very early, also because of my early exposure to television, especially when I was making that switch from TV to films, I kind of had a blueprint in my head, what is the kind of work I want to do. I feel that stardom is a byproduct of good work. And you just cannot wake up one day and opt to be a star. I feel so. If you're consistent enough, if you deliver with your craft and your work, I think stardom is just a byproduct. It is not something by its own. It is a byproduct of good work. So I thought कि यार इस पे focus करते हैं, and focus अभी भी उसी पे कर रहा है, to keep the basics right, and let's see.
Very nice. I have to speak about 12th fail. And Vidhu Vinod Chopra, कहते हैं जो रूम में नहीं होते उनके पीठ पीछे उनकी बात नहीं करनी चाहिए, but ये वो presence looming large है. तो बहुत सुना, of course we've seen his films, we've loved it, and he's a very interesting personality, also very volatile with his moods and temper. How was it collaborating with him?
I wouldn't say volatile with his moods. I would say he is absolutely transparent. He's a child. Yeah. He's a child at heart, and the world knows it, especially the ones who worked with him. The other day we were at his film festival. He's just completed 45 years in filmmaking, and you will not believe, Nasir sir, somewhere some 45 years ago, they were also FTI batchmates. So he got him a souvenir from America which says, "I will never grow up," and that epitomizes what Vidhu Vinod Chopra is. He's a child at heart, and that's how children are. I mean, if they get irked, they express themselves. They bare their soul, and that's how he is. And that is one of his most cherished traits. I think I love him because of that, and most of the people love him because of that.
So इस role के लिए आपको audition करना पड़ा था या?
नहीं, thankfully.
How cool, how nice.
But इसकी भी एक अलग कहानी है. इसकी भी एक अलग कहानी है कि I was approached by Vinod sir, someone from his office reached out to me saying that Vinod sir is producing a film which he's also written, and it's a biopic, so he wants to meet you. And I felt, if he's written it and he's producing it, I should definitely go meet him. My name was recommended to Vinod sir by Raju Irani sir, so he recommended my name, and I went and I met him. By that time also it wasn't clear that he's directing or not, and that's what he says. I think it's better that he says this, but when he saw me read, he asked me to get into a specific posture because he was trying to explain a few things to me. So I got into that posture. It was, very much like a creepy position. I got into that position, and he said, "Okay, I want to direct this boy," and that was when
you were what.
That was when he decided कि नहीं यार, I mean, you should ask him this thing, and that's what he says. And I realized, okay, he's going to direct me as well. Yeah, it was a crazy journey.
So Vikrant, when you impress the likes of Vidhu Vinod Chopra, Rajkumar Hirani, तो कैसे when you go back, तो लगता है कि what do you feel? What goes through your head?
Exactly what I'm feeling right now. It is like, okay, I mean, they know me and they like my work. But yeah, I mean, they are extremely kind people, They've been, in fact, like, yes, I got an opportunity to work with Vinod Chopra sir in this film, but even Raju sir all these years has been very supportive. And it's people like them who really are reassuring, somewhere down the line. There are days when you have doubts, like everyone else does. You sit back at night and you're probably thinking कि अच्छा यार मैं क्या करूँ यार, मेरी तो Instagram following ही नहीं है यार, लोग तो मतलब देख ही नहीं रहे काम. But then it is moments like these that are very, very reassuring, and then you feel, okay, nahin, I think you're doing the right thing.
This gives me a segue to my next question. ये जो आपने बोला Instagram following, you know,
I'll just keep saying it.
no, but it's so true because आप जैसे actors की कदर है, but एक होड़ भी है to be seen all the time, to have a following, to be really, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You don't come across as somebody who's comfortable doing that. But have you felt the pressure? आपको लगता है कि मुझे करना चाहिए या I'm losing out on work because I'm not putting myself out there,
Not losing out on work. I think I've been blessed enough to still be working with the best, despite the things that are lagging. I wouldn't say lagging, but that's what the general perception is. और वो pressure होता है. Sometimes, because there is so much of noise around you, by the end of the day, it almost becomes your own second thought. Am I doing the right thing or am I missing out on something? But then it's something that I am not comfortable with. It's this new thing that has been added to our portfolio as actors that I'm not really comfortable with. And I don't kind of demean it, but I recognize it today that I'm not really comfortable. So what I should be doing is working harder and make sure that, I'm worth people's monies in cinemas. My job is to entertain them in front of the screens.
Yeah.
When they are in front of the screen. So I want to stick to that. But then there are moments when you sit back, you feel, you not losing out on work, but maybe visibility. Because you want a lot of people to see you. You want your stories to reach out to as many people as possible. And there's so much of investment, And there's the peripherals are like almost daunting these days. So I think it's one of those superfluouses which I really want to sort of keep at bay. But then there are moments when you sit back and you doubt yourself. And I think it's normal, very much normal.
इस फिल्म की बात करते हैं. This gives you the perfect canvas. You have the backing of somebody like Vidhu Vinod Chopra. और ये एक इतना compelling किरदार है जहाँ अपना पूरा range as an actor. I'm sure you would have that greed, that hunger in you would have said, finally, isko to I'll bite into it and I'll,
like chew it.
Chew it. So what did you have to do to get into the skin of this character? Because he's a young fellow with gussa and, challenges to face.
It's been the most memorable character of my life. Yeah. And I think it will be for a long time purely because of the way Vinod sir works. We shot for a period of 2.5 months, split, but over a period of 2.5 months, and we prepped for a year and a half. And 3 months prior to shoot, it was like doing a 9-to-5 job. And that's how he works. He will wake up, do his routine, start work at 11 a.m., finish off at 7, every single day like clockwork. We would sit and revisit the scenes like 100 times, 100 times. And I think I realized after meeting him or getting to see his process that this is actually what suits me as well. Unfortunately, there are times you don't need such like-minded people, but it suddenly felt like I found home. I found home in this guy. And the process was outstanding, but also very overwhelming some days very physically taxing. I mean, there is a transformation that you see, and that transformation happened the Vinod Chopra way, not the artificial way. I was the first one in my unit to reach the sets. I reached 7 days before my shooting unit arrived in Chambal, because my job was to put sarson ka tel on me and sit on the terrace for 3 hours a day to get that natural gehrapan, the tan. And that's how we did it. And my skin got burnt on the first day itself. क्योंकि वो चंबल की गर्मी में आप तो वहाँ पे लेटे हो, आप सोच रहे हो, किताब रखी है आपने साइड में, आप लेटे हो सोच के चलो सन बात लेंगे, 3 घंटे के बाद पूरे शोल्डर से पूरा स्किन निकल रहा है. And that's how he works. And my face got burned, and you see bits of it in the trailer as well. And he wanted that, and we got that. And that, as I said, that I found home in him, and it was wonderful. I can go on and on. Yeah.
This of course gives us a glimpse of all that you've gone through. हमने ट्रेलर ही देखा है और जैसे आप कहते हैं कि चंबल से आपका किरदार है. I assume you wouldn't have been there.
Not before this. Not before.
So how was that whole?
It was fabulous. But you know, मेरे साथ ऐसा है कि when I'm at work, more or less, you know, my focus is at work. तो वो मेरे से क्या ना छुट्टियों में भी वो leisure नहीं हो पाता कि बाहर निकलते थोड़ा घूमते हैं थोड़ा देखते.
So you're in character when you're
in character. एक तो आधे टाइम जो टाइम मिलता है आप सोना चाहते हैं उसमें. You know, you want to go back and recover so that you can go out again. But whatever time I spent in that particular village, it's something that I will cherish for the rest of my life. Yeah, it changed a lot within me.
Mr. Vikrant is also in the trailer. You knew about him before?
Yes.
सुने थे आपने उनके videos?
उनको कौन नहीं जानता?
Yeah.
Even before I met him, even before this film came, like I know of him like for years now. Yeah.
So इस film का because the motive, the inspiration, the story is extremely compelling. और रीस्टार्ट की बात हो रही है, गाना भी है, वो ट्रेलर में भी है जो हमें समझ में आ रहा है कि that one point हर किसी की जिंदगी में when you have to change gears and move on. As an actor you would have seen many ups and downs. आपने खुद बोला about moments of self-doubt कि ये तरीका चुना तो है, will it pay off or not? या जब स्किन बर्न हुई होगी ये ख्याल आया होगा it's worth it.
No, it was definitely worth it.
But what is your mantra, Vikrant, if I were to ask you, जब वो moments होते हैं, who do you turn to or what do you turn to?
I mean, there are certain universal concepts in life, right? And I would want to sort of...
You pray, you believe?
Of course. Like, I'm probably subconsciously praying all the time.
So power of faith is
power of faith. Yeah. I was about to say that. I think it's faith. And that faith need not be spiritual, or it need not be religious or in any deity or any form. That faith has to at least begin with you, in yourself. I firmly believe that if these things exist as well, I mean, it's great. I think that it sort of completes you. But even if not, वो self-belief तो होना ज़रूरी है, right? I mean, I think one would only persist if they believe in themselves. And unfortunately, you see so many of them not persisting because to begin with, they've lost faith in themselves. I mean, faith in yourself. You have to sort of pick yourself up and restart. All of us do it every day. I mean, we spoke about it. Yeah. So all of us are restarting from time to time. And that's the key, I think. And also all of us, I think, we are survivors. All of us are. But थोड़ी जद्दोजहद तो जीवन में चलती रहती है. Like even when I quit TV and I took that very conscious decision to give myself a chance at movies. It was a restart, you know. I mean, a complete restart after a decade of...
And you have lots of naysayers because a lot of people were it didn't work out for a lot of people. You're one of the few lucky ones.
Yeah, but then there were pragmatic things which were not off either.
Yeah.
You know, I almost had a very decent platform built for myself. I was making a lot of money. People respected me, loved me for the work I did. And I was also in television getting to collaborate with the best. But then it was a conscious decision. I said, no, I think I deserve a fair chance. Let's see. And
फिल्म में भी पड़ाव की बात होती है और पर्सनल जिंदगी में भी एक नया पड़ाव आपके लिए शुरू हो रहा है. I know it's about that. Are you preparing yourself really up for that?
यार एक चीज ना मेरे आसपास के लोगों ने कहा है कि कितनी भी प्रेप कर लो, कुछ भी कर लो, you will learn on the go. And काम पे भी ऐसे ही हुआ है, लाइफ में ही ऐसे हुआ है. You know, I've just learned on the go. I've heard, I've learned, I've picked myself up and moved forward. So I think Parenthood is also something that I want to take it as it comes. और ये सच है, you know, I've seen my friends and you know everyone in the family. कितनी भी planning कर लो.
रात को जगना तो
है. No, yeah. I mean, I think one should just take things as they come. इतनी planning नहीं करता मैं.
Very cool. Finally, what are your expectations from this film? Like you said, it's so important. It's going to be a memorable character.
I think it's a very important film. And yes, there are expectations. I am hoping that a lot of people watch this film, especially students.
Yeah.
I say important because through this one character that I play, we are actually telling a million stories. You know, ये हजारों लाखों लोगों की कहानी है. And I hope it inspires people, because this film definitely has inspired me. The time that I've spent on this film, it's almost been 2 years now. A lot, as I said, within me has changed, and I see the world slightly different, in a better way, I think. And I think this film will be one of the most important films that we've seen so far, and I hope people go watch it, and I hope people are inspired.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vikrant,
Thank you,
for your
Stutee.
honesty. It's always such a pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank
you.
Conviction, comes across. We're all looking forward to watching 12K.
Thank you, Stutee. It's always a pleasure.
Same here. Thanks.